Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of Pantherology, Panther Nation. It is week 1 of the NFL season, and I can't believe it's here. It's like Christmas Day, and I'm so excited. Tomorrow night, we obviously have the first game of the season, which will be the Texans versus the Kansas City Chiefs. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the week 1 matchup versus the Carolina Panthers versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, before we get into this video, you already know what I need you to do, because any support is much appreciated. So go ahead and tackle that like button, sack that subscribe button, and then comment down below at the end of the video. So anyways, week 1, Carolina Panthers, Las Vegas Raiders. So obviously there's a change in the air in the Carolinas with this week. With the Raiders club, with a new home identifier, they're taking on a very different looking Panther squad, as in us. The Cam Newton era is officially over, and the Teddy Bridgewater is officially ready to begin. So a quick refresher though on Teddy B. 5 starts last year. He had 5 wins, and he had a 9-to-2 interception ratio with a ridiculous high passing rating. Has now might be one of the most underrated wideout cores in the league, led by DJ Moore. Bridgewater is also making his Panthers debut against which once was the worst passing defense in football last year. Now let's hope that's the same going into this game in week 1. The Raiders first rounder from last year, Jonathan Abram, only played 1 game last year for them. So as many eyes will be on the Panthers passing attack, there will be equal number of eyes on the Vegas faithful eyes on the revamped defense. That defense may not have been good against the pass last year, but they were really good against the run. They were one of only few to hold opponents to under 4 yards a carry. And they too received, adding on Malik Collins and Nick Kwiatkowski. Sorry, I had to look up his name and I could not figure out how to pronounce it. Who played well for the Bears in a limited action. Corey Little, they got him, and he had over 133 tackles last year. Are those guys going to be able to stop CMC? I don't think so, because Chris McCaffrey, of course, is the centerpiece of the Panthers offense. It will be worth watching how Bridgewater's presence impacts McCaffrey's use. The Raiders also support one of the best rushing attacks. Much of that is to thanks of Josh Jacobs. While McCaffrey faces a front that was good at closing up the lanes, Jacob does not. Unfortunately, Carolina was not very good at closing those lanes up last year. We allowed 5.2 yards per carry, and that was dead last in the NFL. Now that the Carolina Panthers D was gutted this offseason, but within all that, gutting was the loss of Luke Kuechly too. Replaced by the former Raider, though, Tahir Whitehead, who's plenty good in his own right, just not Kuechly. But the Panthers also have changed all sorts of the defensive line, especially when we used all of that in the draft picks on the D and have an entirely new staff. So how do they fare against the Jacobs? Will it be worth watching? But how will their secondary fare against Derek Carr? Carr had some solid numbers last year, and the offense moved the ball very well last year. They just didn't score at the same rate. And there were some whispers around that Carr's standing with John Gruden, and Carr was able to create some chemistry with the tight end Darren Waller, at least but not really with anyone else. So to that end, they used their first round pick on wide receiver Henry Ruggs, hoping a wideout can be just as prominent in their attack. Now, Carr likes to get rid of the ball fast, so he doesn't get sacked very often. But sacking the quarterback was a specialty of Carolina's last year. Ryan Burns is back after racking up. He had 7.5 QB takedowns in his rookie season. He only started 5 of the 16 games last year, but many of the guys are responsible for the high total. Again, a lot of youth is being expected to fill these shoes in the Carolinas. Youth that will make its debut this week as well. Same as for the secondary, to which held its own last season. With so many new faces there too, no preseason is much more difficult to guess how they might perform. So how do you think they're going to play? How do you think this game's going to turn out? Well, I'm going to tell you. Obviously, as we all know, this week one matchup is going to be very entertaining. Neither the Raiders or the Panthers are expected to be serious contenders in their respective conferences. However, they are both out to prove that the league should take more notice of them. This week one matchup is going to be very entertaining. Neither the Raiders nor the Panthers are expected to be serious contenders in their respective conferences. However, they are both out to prove the league should take more notice of them. While it seems very unlikely that a running back will win the MVP award this season, Christian McCaffrey is the guy. And I think he could force his way into that conversation. I mean, he finished last year with almost 1,400 yards rushing. He had 15 touchdowns. Then he also had 1,005 yards catching and 4 touchdowns. There are very few players at Christian McCaffrey's level and very few players that can play at his level. So in this week one against the Raiders, McCaffrey's going to set the tone for the Panthers. I think he's going to rack up about 130 yards with 2 touchdowns, and I think he's going to have 75 yards catching and 1 touchdown. I think the Raiders will have no answer for McCaffrey, and that running back will be a force to reckon with. And I think that will put Christian into the early conversation of the MVP candidacy. One of the big offseason storylines was the Panthers releasing Cam Newton, obviously, to replace him with Teddy Bridgewater. While some fans didn't like the move, Bridgewater, I think, will silence all those critics. In his debut, I think Bridgewater is going to dice up the secondary of the Raiders. And I think he's going to throw about 300 yards and probably throw up 3 touchdowns. He won't turn the ball over, and that will give the Panthers a chance to come away with a week 1 win. After an impressive showing last season with New Orleans, when Drew Brees went down with his injuries, Bridgewater is finally a full-time starter. Before his gruesome injury when he was with the Minnesota Vikings, he was a budding star. Bridgewater will pick up where he left off, I think. Carolina's in good hands with Bridgewater, guys. First-year head coach Matt Rule is the perfect fit for him, I think, and he will give the Panthers hope moving forward. Even though this game isn't receiving a ton of hype, I think, on the week 1 schedule, I think it's going to be a must-see watch football game. As you can tell from the previous predictions, both teams are going to put on an offensive show, though. In my opinion, however, after everything is said and done, I think the Panthers will be on top. They will be 1-0 on the season, and Las Vegas will drop to 1-0-1 despite a valiant effort against us. Both of these teams are looking in the right direction. They may not be Super Bowl contenders right now, but the Raiders and the Panthers are teams to keep close eye on over the next few years. And I think that the Panthers beat the Raiders as well, 35-28. That is my score prediction. So, guys, let me know what you think. Week 1 matchup. Let's go, baby. Guys, thank you for the support. Like I said, tackle that like button, sack that subscribe button, and then comment down below. Panther Nation, you're good to me. I appreciate y'all's support, and y'all know what to do. Especially this week for week 1 matchup. Y'all know what to do. Keep pounding.